Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency launches Rights Club for NYC members. Federal Executive Council postpones meeting a tribute session for late former President Buhari. On the foreign scene, human rights lawyers accuse rapid support forces of massacres in Sudan's North Kordofan. And in sport, Zambia's coach Nora Hoptel declares team's readiness for quarter-final showdown against Super Falcons in 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. In a bid to boost consumer rights awareness among Nigerian youths, the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, LASCOPA, has inaugurated a Community Development Service Club for NYC members in Lagos. The ceremony took place at the NYC Lagos State Secretariat in Surulere and marks a major step towards youth involvement in consumer advocacy across the state. Speaking at the event, Director of Consumer Education at LASCOPA, Folashade Ashaye, described the initiative as a strategic move to empower core members to become ambassadors of consumer rights. Ashaye emphasized the vital role young people play in shaping ethical business practices and protecting consumer interests. She said the club aligns with Lagos State's commitment to inclusive governance and a fair marketplace. The newly inducted members were urged to take their role seriously by acting as watchdogs and educators in their host communities. Ashaye assured them of continued support, training and resources from LASCOPA. Also speaking, NYC Lagos CDS coordinator Bumi Oladokun praised the partnership, saying it would enrich the knowledge and civic engagement of core members during their service year. Lagos State government has taken bold and practical steps to harness the potential of its 180 kilometers coastline and vast water bodies to build a sustainable, inclusive, and innovative blue economy. Secretary to the Lagos State government, Bimbola Salu Hunde, stated this at the opening ceremony of a week-long study by participants of the Senior Executive Course SEC 47 from the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies NIPSS Kuru, Plateau State, with the theme Blue Economy and Sustainable Development in Nigeria, Issues, Challenges and Opportunities. Salu Hunde, who described Lagos as a living model of the blue economy in action, listed major achievements under the administration's Themes Plus agenda to include the Lekki Deep Sea Port, expansion of ferry services, shoreline protection in erosion-prone areas, and marine waste management initiatives, among others. She urged the participants to not only observe the state's infrastructure and innovations, but also its challenges, particularly in regulatory alignment, intergovernmental cooperation, funding, and capacity development. Acting Director of Studies at NIPSS, Nima Salma Man, said the initiative, as the nation's premier think tank, is tasked annually by the President to research critical issues, and this year's focus on the blue economy stems from its increasing global relevance as a secondary revenue stream for all dependent nations. Salma Man stressed the importance of Lagos in national development and policy formulation, adding that findings from the study will inform policy recommendations in the Institute's final report to the federal government. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is set to commence nationwide continuous voter registration CVR exercise as part of preparation for the 2027 general elections. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner for Benue State, Sam Egu, stated that the exercise would commence on 18th August 2025. Ego explained that the continuous voter registration exercise was in line with constitutional provisions to accommodate those who had attained 18 years after the previous election. He noted that it will take place in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), stressing that it would commence with online pre-registration, which would be done through the INEC website. According to him, the online registration would be followed by in-person registration in all INEC area offices nationwide and other designated centers starting from August 25, 2025. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has postponed a special Federal Executive Council session earlier planned in honor of former President Muhammadu Buhari as preparations continue for his burial in Daura, Katsina State. The tribute session, initially scheduled for Tuesday, has been put on hold due to the state's funeral for the late president, which will take place the same day. A new date will be announced by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. To honor the former leader, the government had declared Tuesday, July 15, a public holiday. This is in addition to a 7-day national mourning period ordered by President Bola Tinubu, with flags flying at half-mast across the country. In line with Islamic rites, his body is expected to arrive in Katsina by noon, with burial scheduled for 2 p.m. in his hometown of Daura, Katsina State. In a related development, the National Assembly has suspended all legislative activities in honor of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The Senate President and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Kamoru Ogunlanu, in a statement released by the clerk to the National Assembly, directed that all plenary sessions and related functions be put on hold until Tuesday, July 22. The suspension is part of efforts to pay tribute to Buhari's legacy of integrity in national service. Lawmakers have also been urged to adjust their schedules to attend the burial ceremonies in Daura. The leadership of the Assembly extended condolences to President Bola Tinubu, the Buhari family, the people of Katsina State, and the entire nation. Meanwhile, the Katsina State Police Command, in collaboration with other security agencies and under the leadership of the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 14, has rolled out a comprehensive security plan to ensure a peaceful and orderly burial in Daura. Commissioner of Police Bello Shehu extended condolences to the government and people of Katsina State, as well as to the family and friends of the late president. He praised Buhari's legacy and his contributions to Nigeria's growth and development. Also, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has deployed 2,807 personnel across the state to support the security effort. The state commandant, Aminu Dati, made the announcement following a management meeting in Katsina on Monday. Dati added that the Commandant General, Abubakar Audi, also mourned the former president, describing his death as a great loss to the nation. Following the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari in London on Sunday, President Tinubu has directed the formation of an interministerial committee to plan and oversee a dignified state burial. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made the announcement in Abuja on Monday, saying that the committee will work closely with the Katsina State government and the late president's family to ensure a befitting farewell. As part of the official arrangement, 25 members of the Federal Executive Council have been asked to attend the burial in Daura and remain in the town for the third-day prayers. President Bola Tinubu also declared a 7-day national mourning period beginning Sunday, with flags to fly at half-mast across the country in honor of the late statesman. The former president will be laid to rest in his hometown of Daura, Katsina State. Now to foreign news. A group of Sudanese human rights lawyers have accused the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces of carrying out deadly attacks on villages in North Kordofan, killing nearly 300 civilians. According to a statement released by the group, emergency lawyers the RSF reportedly raided and set fire to multiple villages near the city of Bara over the weekend. In one of the worst hit areas, the village of Shag Almon, more than 200 people were reportedly killed. Victims were said to have been burned alive inside their homes or shot at close range. In surrounding villages, an additional 38 people were killed and dozens more were reportedly abducted. The following day, another 46 people, including children and pregnant women, were killed in the nearby village of Hilatamid. The reported attacks come as the civil war between the RSF and the Sudanese army continues to rage, with the army controlling much of central and eastern Sudan, while the RSF consolidates power in the west, including North Kordofan and Darfur. In our sports, Zambia's women's national football team head coach Nora Hopto says the players are fully prepared for their high-stakes quarter-final showdown against the Super Falcons of Nigeria at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Copper Queens head coach Nora Hopto has expressed confidence in her squad ahead of the clash, saying the team is battle-ready for what promises to be a tough encounter. Zambia finished second in Group A with 2 wins and a draw, putting in what Hopto described as a stable and mature performance in their final group game against the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Swiss coach highlighted her team's tactical discipline and early scoring advantage in that match. With 5 days of rest before the quarterfinal, Hopto said the team is using the time to recover and study potential opponents. The Copper Queens will face defending champions Nigeria in what is expected to be one of the most intense fixtures of the tournament. And that is our news at 10. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on My Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know the Sanwo-Olu administration introduced the Lagos Economic Acceleration Program, LEAP, to reduce the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on small businesses? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. In a bid to boost consumer rights awareness among Nigerian youths, the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, LASCOPA, has inaugurated a Community Development Service Club for NYSC members in Lagos. The federal government has postponed a special Federal Executive Council session earlier planned in honor of former President Muhammadu Buhari as preparations continue for his burial in Daura, Katsina State. Also told you that a group of Sudanese human rights lawyers have accused the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces of carrying out deadly attacks on villages in North Kordofan, killing nearly 300 civilians. And in sports, Zambia's women's national football team head coach Nora Hopto said the players are fully prepared for their high-stakes quarter-final showdown against the Super Falcons of Nigeria at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idowolaya. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.
Think of great music. Think of transportation experts discussing